The galaxy screams in silence. Across 90 star systems, the ashes of once great civilizations drift through the void like cosmic snow. The Vorthak Empire's crimson warships patrol these dead zones, their hulls gleaming with the blood-red paint. That has become the galaxy's most feared sight. For 200 years, these alien conquerors have swept through space like a plague, turning thriving worlds into graveyards. Captain Lee Min-ho stands on the bridge of the exploration vessel, Phoenix. Dawn, his hands gripping the metal railing as he stares at the view screen. Below them, the planet that once housed Kepler Colony rotates slowly, its surface scarred by massive craters where cities used to shine. The air itself seems poisoned, thick with the smoke of a million dreams burned to nothing. "My God," whispers Park Ji-woo from his communication station, his young face pale as he processes the sensor readings. "Sir, the orbital scans show no life signs anywhere on the planet, not even bacteria." Lee Min-ho's jaw tightens. He's seen Vorthak destruction before, but never this complete. The aliens don't just conquer worlds, they sterilize them. Every tree, every animal, every microscopic organism wiped clean so that only Vorthak life can take root. It's not just war, it's cosmic murder. The Korean captain had joined the Deep Space Exploration Corps to discover new worlds, to make peaceful contact with alien civilizations. Instead, he's become a witness to genocide on an unimaginable scale. The Phoenix Dawn was supposed to be mapping trade routes to the Outer Rim, but every system they've visited tells the same horrific story. "Captain," Lieutenant Kim So-ra calls. From her sensor station, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'm picking up debris fields in orbit. They look like civilian evacuation ships." The bridge falls silent except for the steady hum of life support systems. Every member of the crew understands what that means. The colonists tried to run. They loaded their families onto whatever ships they could find, desperate to escape before the Vorthak arrived. But the Empire's warships are fast, and they show no mercy to refugees. Engineer Choi Dae-jung wipes sweat from his forehead as he studies the tactical displays. "Sir, based on the blast patterns, I'd estimate the attack happened less than 72 hours ago. The plasma burns are still hot. 3 days. Just 3 days ago, children were playing in the streets of New Seoul Settlement. Families were sharing meals, making plans for the future. Scientists were studying the local ecosystem, amazed by the purple-leafed trees that grew nowhere else in the galaxy. Now it's all gone, reduced to radioactive dust." Park Ji-woo's console chirps with an incoming transmission. His eyes widen as he processes the signal. "Captain, we're receiving an automated distress beacon. It's weak, but it's coming from the Altair system about 6 light-years from here." "Put it through," Lee Min-ho orders, though he already suspects what they'll hear. The message crackles with static, interrupted by explosions and screaming. "This is Governor Chen Wei-ming of Altair Prime. The Vorthak fleet has breached our orbital defenses. They're landing ground troops. My people are civilians, we have no military. Please, if anyone receives this message, remember us. Remember that we tried to build something beautiful out here among the stars." The transmission ends with the sound of plasma fire and a child crying for his mother. Lieutenant Kim So-ra turns from her station, tears streaming down her face. "Sir, that message is 18 hours old. By now they're all dead," Lee Min-ho finishes grimly. Another world, another few million lives snuffed out because they had the misfortune to exist in the path of the Vorthak expansion. The captain walks to the main view screen, pressing his palm against the cool metal as he studies the dead planet. Below, somewhere in those ruins are the remains of playgrounds, schools, hospitals, places where people laughed and loved and dreamed of tomorrow. The Vorthak don't just kill, they erase hope itself. "Sir," Park Ji-woo says quietly, "we should report this to Earth Command. The Colonial Defense Force needs to know how far the Empire has advanced." Lee Min-ho nods, but his thoughts are elsewhere. Earth is still 1,200 light-years away, safe in its remote corner of the galaxy. Most humans don't even know the Vorthak exist. They're still focused on their own small conflicts, unaware that a cosmic storm is heading their way. Lieutenant Kim, begin a full sensor sweep of the system, he orders. "I want detailed scans of every piece of debris, every energy signature. When we report this to Command, I want them to understand exactly what we're dealing with. Kim So-Raz. Fingers dance across her console, but she pauses as new contacts appear on her screen. Her face goes white. Sir, I'm detecting massive energy signatures approaching our position. 3 ships moving fast. The bridge crew freezes. Everyone knows what 3 ships moving in formation means in this part of space. Vorthak? Lee Min-ho asks, though he already knows the answer. Yes, sir. Destroyer-class vessels, bearing 27 Mark IV. They'll be in weapons range in 3 minutes. The Crimson warships emerge from hyperspace, like predators smelling blood. Their hulls gleam with fresh paint, still wet with the ashes of Altair Prime. The twisted insignia of the Vorthak Empire glows on their sides, twisted metal shaped like a clenched fist crushing a star. On the lead destroyer, Commander Vorthkag studies the strange vessel on his tactical display. It doesn't match any known species in the Empire's databases. Perfect. Another primitive civilization to crush, another world to claim for the glory of the Empire. The aliens have conquered 90 star systems. They've faced down crystal beings who could manipulate matter with their thoughts, warrior races with natural armor plating, and hive minds that controlled thousands of bodies. Every species either bowed before Vorthak might or died screaming. They expect this encounter to follow. The same pattern. Demand surrender. Destroy resistance. Claim the spoils. They have never encountered humans before. The communications channel crackles to life as General Thrakvor's deep mechanical voice fills the bridge of the Phoenix Dawn. The Vorthak commander speaks through his universal translator, each word dripping with the arrogance of 2 centuries of unopposed conquest. Unknown vessel, you have entered territory claimed by the Vorthak Empire. Power down your engines and prepare to be boarded. Your species will serve the Empire or be destroyed. You have 30 seconds to comply. Captain Lee Min-ho exchanges glances with his crew. Around him, the bridge falls silent, except for the steady beeping of proximity alarms. The 3 Vorthaker destroyers hang in space like crimson daggers, their weapon systems already charging with deadly energy. Park Ji-woo looks up from his communications console, his hands trembling slightly. Sir, should I open a channel to negotiate? Lee Min-ho steps forward, his voice calm but carrying the steel of a man who has seen too much death today. Open the channel, Ji-woo. The young officer's fingers dance across his controls, and suddenly the bridge is connected to the alien warships. Lee Min-ho speaks clearly, his words carrying across the void to ears that have never heard human defiance. This is Captain Lee Min-ho of the Human Exploration Corps. We've seen what your empire does to innocent people. We've walked through the ashes of your victims. We don't kneel to tyrants. A stunned silence follows. In 200 years of expansion, no species has ever responded to Vorthak demands with outright refusal. General Thrakvor's mandibles click together in confusion before rage takes over. Then you choose death, primitive fool. The first plasma barrage erupts from the lead destroyer, bolts of superheated energy racing toward the Phoenix Dawn. The ship's shields flare to life, absorbing the initial impact, but warning lights flash across every console. The hull groans under the stress. Shields down to 60%, Kim So-Ra shouts from her station. They're charging for another. Volley! But engineer Choi Dae-jung is already moving. The stocky Korean rushes through the ship's corridors, his mind racing with possibilities. The Phoenix Dawn isn't a warship, it's an exploration vessel designed for peaceful contact and scientific research. But Dae-jung has spent his entire career working with mining equipment, and he knows that the tools used to crack asteroids can crack alien hulls just as easily. In the cargo bay, massive robotic arms designed for asteroid collection swing into action. Dae-jung's fingers fly across the control panel, reprogramming the mining systems for combat. The ship's drilling charges, meant for taking rock samples, become improvised missiles. The magnetic grappling cables become weapons of war. Captain, Dae-jung's voice echoes through the comm system, I need you to get us close to those ships, really close. Lee Min-ho doesn't hesitate. So-Ra, evasive maneuvers, bring us in under their firing arc. Lieutenant Kim So-Ra's hands dance across her navigation controls with the skill of someone who has piloted through asteroid fields and solar storms. The Phoenix Dawn spirals between the Vorthak plasma bolts, its hull spinning. Like a dancer avoiding deadly light, the Vorthak gunners struggle to track the smaller, more agile human vessel. Their weapons are designed for destroying large targets at long range, not for dogfighting with a ship that moves like a hummingbird. 200 meters and closing, Sora reports, sweat beading on her forehead as she pushes the ship's engines to their limits. Now, Daejung, Lee Min-ho shouts. The cargo bay doors burst open, and the mining arms extend like the tentacles of some mechanical octopus. Drilling charges shoot out on magnetic cables, slamming into the hull of the nearest Vorthak destroyer. The aliens aboard feel their ship. Shudder as human mining explosives designed to crack tough asteroid rock tear through their armor plating. But Daejung isn't finished. The magnetic grappling system, meant for hauling chunks of space rock, latches onto the destroyer's weapon systems. With a sound like thunder, the mining arms tear the plasma cannons right off the alien ship. Park Ji-woo, meanwhile, has been busy at his communication station. His fingers work frantically as he floods the Vorthak communication channels with electronic noise, scrambling their coordination signals. Their targeting systems are blind, he reports with glee. They can't lock onto us. The second Vorthak destroyer tries to maneuver for a clear shot, but the Phoenix Dawn is already moving. Lee Min-ho's tactical mind, trained in the war games of Earth's naval academies, sees the opening. Sora, put us between those two ships. Make them choose. Between hitting us or hitting each other. The human ship darts between the two alien vessels just as they fire. Vorthak plasma bolts, meant for the Phoenix Dawn, instead slam into each other's hulls. The aliens, in their arrogance, end up damaging their own forces. Daejung's mining charges continue their deadly work. Explosions ripple along the hull of the first destroyer as its power systems fail. Emergency lights flicker across the alien ship as it drifts helplessly in space. The third Vorthak vessel, seeing its companions, disabled, tries to retreat. But human determination proves stronger than alien technology. The Phoenix Dawn pursues, its mining arms reaching out like the claws of an angry beast. More drilling charges find their mark, and suddenly the Vorthak formation is broken. Two destroyers drift powerless, their crews trapped inside, crippled. Hulks. The third limps away into hyperspace, carrying news of an impossible defeat. General Thrakvor stares at his darkened bridge, emergency power casting strange shadows across his reptilian features. In all his years of conquest, he has never seen anything like this. A single exploration vessel has defeated 3 military destroyers using nothing but mining equipment and raw courage. How? He whispers to himself, his voice barely audible, in the dying ship. On the Phoenix Dawn, the crew stands in stunned silence. They've just accomplished something no other species has managed in 2 centuries. They've made the Vorthak Empire bleed. Word of the battle spreads like wildfire through both human colonies and alien refugee networks. Hidden broadcasting stations, operated by survivors of Vorthak attacks, carry the incredible news to every corner of the galaxy. For the first time in generations, there is hope. On Earth, 1,200 light-years away, Defense Minister Han Yejin receives the report with growing alarm. She reads the tactical analysis 3 times before the reality sinks in. Humanity has just declared war on the most powerful empire in the galaxy. Within hours, emergency meetings convene in every major capital. The peaceful exploration mission has become something much larger. The message is clear to every human leader. If the Vorthak Empire wants a war, they'll get one. But they have no idea what they've just awakened. The sirens wail across every continent. On Earth, as emergency broadcasts interrupt regular programming. Within 6 hours of receiving Captain Lee Min-ho's report, every major government on the planet has activated their highest-level war protocols. The images of destroyed colonies and dead worlds flood news networks, and humanity finally understands the threat bearing down on them. Admiral Song Tai-min stands in the war room beneath Seoul, surrounded by holographic displays showing industrial capacity across the globe. His weathered face reflects decades of military experience, but nothing has prepared him for mobilizing an entire species for war. "How long do we have?" asks President Kim from the main screen, her voice tight with controlled fear. Intelligence. Estimates 6 months before their main fleet reaches our outer colonies, Song Tae-min replies, his fingers dancing across tactical displays. Maybe 8 if we're lucky. 6 months to prepare for an enemy that has conquered 90 star systems. The odds seem impossible, but humans have always specialized in making the impossible look routine. The transformation begins immediately. Every car factory on Earth stops producing vehicles and starts building fighter craft components. Steel. Mills that once made construction beams now forge armor plating for warships. Computer factories switch from making smartphones to military targeting systems. The entire planet becomes a single massive weapons factory. Major Yoon Soo-bin watches the first prototype fighters roll off the production lines in Busan. These aren't the sleek exploration vessels humans are used to building. These are predators, designed with one purpose: to kill Vorthak ships. The fighters are smaller and faster than anything the Empire has faced, built to swarm like angry hornets around larger vessels. How many can we build? Yoon Soo-bin asks the chief engineer, Atino. Current production rates, 500 per week. But we're still ramping up. Give us 3 months and we'll be producing 1,000 fighters every 7 days. The numbers are staggering, but they need to be. Intelligence reports suggest the Vorthak Revenge fleet will contain over 200 capital ships and thousands of smaller vessels. Humanity will need every advantage they can get. Training camps spring up on every continent. Former airline pilots learn to fly in 3 dimensions instead of 2. Racing drivers adapt their reflexes for space combat. Video game champions discover their skills translate perfectly to drone warfare. Humanity's entire culture of competition and violence, usually kept in check by civilization, suddenly becomes their greatest weapon. Colonel Jung Hae-won leads the first squadron of qualified pilots through combat simulations in orbit around Luna. The Korean Air Force veteran has adapted quickly to space warfare, developing tactics that would seem insane to traditional military minds. Remember, he tells his pilots over the comm system, we're not trying to outgun them. We're trying to outthink them. Speed, cunning, and raw stubbornness, that's what wins battles. The months pass in a blur of construction and preparation. Orbital defense platforms rise around Earth like mechanical flowers, their surfaces bristling with railguns and missile pods. The asteroid belt becomes a fortress as mining stations transform into weapon emplacements. Even Mars gets upgraded with defensive systems that would make the planet itself a battleground. When General Thrakvor's Revenge fleet finally emerges from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system, they expect to find a primitive world cowering in fear. Instead, their sensors immediately detect thousands of energy signatures. Warning lights flash across every Vorthak bridge as they realize what they're facing. Impossible, Thrakvor hisses as he studies the tactical displays. No species mobilizes this quickly. It should take decades to build these kinds of defenses. But humans don't think like other species. While aliens debate and plan and form committees, humans simply act. The same aggressive nature that once drove them to conquer their own planet now drives them to defend it. The first engagement happens near Mars, where Colonel Jung Hae-won leads his fighter squadron in what becomes known as the gravity slingshot maneuver. Instead of attacking the Vorthak ships directly, he uses Mars itself as a weapon. All fighters follow my lead. Hae-won's voice crackles through the comm system as his squadron dives toward the red planet's surface. We're going to use physics against them. The human fighters skim so close to Mars that their hulls glow from atmospheric friction. The Vorthak gunners try to follow, but their massive weapons can't track targets moving at such extreme angles. At the last possible second, the human pilots pull up, using Mars's gravity well to slingshot them directly at the enemy flagship at incredible speeds. The Vorthak ship's shields, designed to stop energy weapons and large missiles, can't adapt fast enough to dozens of small fighters moving at relativistic speeds. Human pilots slam into the alien hull like bullets, their fighters' armor-piercing noses punching through metal plating that has withstood centuries of warfare. Captain Oh Min-jung leads her team through the breach, fighting hand-to-hand combat. In the corridors of the alien ship, the Vorthak warriors, used to intimidating their enemies with size and strength, find themselves facing humans who fight like cornered animals. Every human carries the memory of dead colonies, of children's voices cut short by alien plasma fire. Meanwhile, Commander Lim Ga-young coordinates the defense of Lunar Base, turning Earth's moon into a massive gun platform. Railguns fire solid, metal slugs at incredible velocities, punching holes through Vorthak armor like paper. Missile swarms launch from hidden silos, each warhead guided by artificial intelligence that learns and adapts in real time. The battle rages for 18 hours. Vorthak ships that have conquered star systems find themselves overwhelmed by human tactics they've never encountered. Swarm attacks, kamikaze runs, boarding actions that turn into knife fights in darkened corridors. The aliens begin to understand they're not fighting another civilized species, they're fighting humanity. When the retreat order finally comes, half of Thrakvor's fleet is either destroyed or badly damaged. The general himself escapes in a crippled flagship, his bridge scarred by human boarding actions. For the first time in 200 years, HFY Vorthak fleet runs from battle. The news spreads across the galaxy faster than light itself. Hidden cameras on refugee ships capture footage of burning Vorthak vessels limping away from Earth's solar system. The images flood alien communication networks, carried by species that have lived in fear for generations. On 1,000 conquered, worlds beings who have forgotten the meaning of hope suddenly remember what freedom looks like. The impossible has happened. Someone has made the Empire bleed, and that someone is willing to fight. The Vorthak Empire, for the first time in centuries, faces something they never expected, an enemy that refuses to surrender. The news of humanity's victory spreads through the galaxy like wildfire in a dry forest. On the enslaved world of Avirak Prime, the bird-like natives huddle around hidden communication devices, their feathered faces bright with emotions they haven't felt in decades. For 30 years, the Vorthak have used the Avirak as living computers, forcing their brilliant minds to calculate hyperspace routes and weapon trajectories for the Empire's war machine. But now, everything changes. Kreetak, an elderly Avirak with silver-tipped wings, pecks carefully at a salvaged human communication device. His talons, once used only to input data for his alien masters, now work to decode human encryption patterns. The technology is crude compared to Avirak mental capabilities, but it has one thing their thoughts don't. It can't be detected by Vorthak mind scanners. The humans fight like no species we've ever seen, Kreetak whispers to his fellow prisoners in their secret language. They don't just resist, they make the Empire run away. Within days, the Avirak resistance network spreads across 12 star systems. Bird-like messengers, their natural flight abilities perfect for avoiding Vorthak patrols, carry encrypted human technology from world to world. What starts as whispered hope becomes organized rebellion. On the mining world of Chitara, deep underground tunnels echo with the sound of insectoid claws scraping against metal. The ant-like Chitari have spent 50 years digging precious metals for Vorthak war machines, their lives measured in tons of ore extracted, and nothing more. But they've also been digging something else, a vast network of hidden chambers and escape routes. Queen Zixara, her compound eyes gleaming in the darkness, examines the human weapon designs her scouts have recovered from a crashed Vorthak transport. The technology is rough, designed for speed of production rather than elegance, but it's effective. More importantly, the humans have shared their blueprints freely with anyone willing to fight. These humans understand something the Empire never learned, she clicks to her warrior daughters. They know that strength shared is strength multiplied. The Chitari workshops come alive with activity as thousands of insectoid workers begin producing human-designed weapons using their own advanced metallurgy. Plasma rifles that would take human factories weeks to build emerge from Chitari tunnels in mere hours, each one modified with improvements that even human engineers hadn't thought of. General Kang Do-hyun receives reports of these developments from his command ship, the Soul's Pride, hidden in the asteroid belt of the Proxima system. The veteran Korean commander has volunteered to lead humanity's first joint species military operation, and the responsibility weighs heavily on his shoulders. Sir, his aide reports, we're receiving volunteer requests from 47 different species. They're offering everything from raw materials to entire fleets. Kang Do-hyun studies the holographic star map. where red dots mark Vorthak-controlled systems and green dots show rebel activity. The green is spreading faster than anyone anticipated. "What's the status of our first mixed units?" he asks. Sergeant Bei Yunji reports that the Avirak pilots are adapting to human fighter craft faster than expected. Their natural three-dimensional thinking gives them advantages our own pilots don't have. The Chitauri ground forces are, well, sir, they're terrifying. The general allows himself a small smile. Humans excel at individual combat, but they've always been even better at teaching others to fight. Every human military tradition, from ancient Korea to modern special forces, emphasizes adaptability and improvisation. These skills translate perfectly to training alien warriors. In the hidden base on asteroid X7, Sergeant Bei Yunji watches as a group of crystal-based silicoids practice human guerrilla tactics. The living rock beings move slowly, but can survive in space without protection, making them perfect for sabotage missions. She's teaching them to think like humans, to be unpredictable, aggressive, and ruthlessly creative. "Remember," she tells her mixed species class through universal translators, "the Empire expects you to follow patterns. They've conquered your worlds by learning how you think, but humans don't think like anyone else. We're chaotic, stubborn, and we never give up. That chaos is now your greatest weapon." The training sessions are unlike anything the galaxy has ever seen. Avirak pilots learn human dogfighting techniques, while human engineers study Chitauri tunnel warfare. The crystalline Vexans, who can process information at quantum speeds, help design battle computers that predict Vorthak movements. Every species contributes their unique abilities to the growing rebellion. Dr. Nam Junho works frantically in his mobile laboratory, combining human innovation with alien science in ways that shouldn't be possible. His latest creation merges human railgun technology with Avirak energy manipulation, producing weapons that can punch through Vorthak shields like they're made of paper. "The key," he explains to his mixed team of researchers, "is that we're not trying to build better versions of existing weapons. We're creating entirely new forms of warfare. The results are spectacular. Human Chitauri mining charges that can collapse entire Vorthak installations. Avirak-enhanced navigation systems that make human ships impossible to track. Vexan computers running human tactical programs that can outthink Empire strategists in real time. But the Vorthak Empire isn't sitting idle. As rebellion spreads across dozens of worlds, their response becomes increasingly brutal. General Thrakvor, still smarting from his defeat at Earth, orders the complete sterilization of 3 rebel worlds as an example to others. The images of burning cities and refugee streams flood galactic communication networks. But instead of crushing resistance, the atrocities only fuel more rebellion. Species that had remained neutral suddenly join the fight, their outrage at Vorthak brutality overwhelming their fear. Lieutenant Colonel Shin Yu-jin establishes a mobile broadcasting station that follows the joint human-alien strike forces, HFY. Messages transmitted on frequencies the Empire can't block reach billions of oppressed beings across the galaxy. "The Vorthak want you to believe that resistance is hopeless." Her voice echoes through hidden receivers on 1,000 worlds. "They want you to think that their power is absolute. But we've proven them wrong. Every burning Vorthak ship, every liberated world, every free being standing up to tyranny proves them wrong." Her broadcasts include tactical advice, weapon designs, and coordination codes for resistance cells. But more importantly, they carry something the galaxy hasn't heard in centuries: genuine hope backed by real victories. The liberation of the Kepler system becomes a perfect example of the new warfare. General Kang Do-hyun's mixed forces hit the Vorthak garrison from 6 directions simultaneously. Human fighters provide air support, while Chitauri tunnelers attack from below. Avirak technical specialists disable the Empire's communication systems, while Vexan hackers corrupt their computer networks. The battle lasts only 4 hours. When it's over, the Vorthak survivors flee in whatever ships still function, leaving behind a world ready to govern itself again. The victory celebration includes representatives from dozens of species, all united under banners that combine human symbols with their own cultural markers. Children who have never known freedom play together in the ruins of Vorthak fortifications. But even in victory, the humans remain focused on the larger war. While other species celebrate, human commanders are already planning the next operation, the next liberation, the next step toward toppling an empire that has terrorized the galaxy for 2 centuries. The rebellion has ignited, and it burns with a fire that no empire can extinguish. The assault on Dominion Prime begins at dawn across 3 continents simultaneously. Admiral Song Taemin's massive fleet emerges from hyperspace in perfect formation. Over 2,000 ships representing 50 different species united under one cause. The sight is breathtaking human carriers flanked by elegant Avirak cruisers, sturdy Chitauri battleships, and the crystalline vessels of the Vexen Collective, all moving together like a cosmic ballet of liberation. All units, this is Admiral Song. His voice carries across every ship in the fleet. Today we don't just fight for victory, we fight to ensure no species ever suffers under tyranny again. Let's finish this. The Vorthak home fleet, though reduced by years of rebellion, still numbers in the hundreds. Their crimson ships hang in defensive formations around their capital world, every weapon system charged and ready. Emperor Vorthmagus himself watches from his tower, his ancient eyes burning, with the rage of someone who has never known defeat. But the Allied fleet doesn't attack directly. Instead, they begin a complex dance of coordinated strikes that showcases everything humans have taught the galaxy about warfare. Avirak fighters, their natural agility enhanced by human tactics, weave between Vorthak plasma bolts like leaves in the wind. Chitauri boarding pods, launched from human carriers, slam into enemy hulls with precision that would make Earth's special forces proud. The battle in orbit rages for 6 hours, but it's really a distraction. While the Vorthak focus on the space battle, Captain Lee Min-ho leads the real assault on the planet's surface. The same Korean officer who first defied the Empire now commands the elite Liberation Corps, a mixed-species strike force that has become legendary across the galaxy. His team infiltrates Dominion Prime using methods no single species could have developed alone. Human stealth technology gets them past the sensors. Avirak flight patterns help them navigate the capital city's towering spires, and Chitauri tunneling expertise allows them to approach the Imperial Palace from underground. Remember, Lee Min-ho tells his team as they emerge from the tunnel system beneath the palace, we're not here for revenge. We're here to end this war and give every species in the galaxy a chance at freedom. The Liberation Corps moves through the palace like a force of nature. Vorthak guards, trained to fight traditional battles, can't adapt to the fluid, unpredictable tactics that humans have perfected. Every corner turned reveals another impossible situation. Human soldiers working alongside beings they'd never even heard of 2 years ago, all united by shared purpose. The crystal corridors of the Imperial Palace echo with the sounds of freedom. Avirak warriors use their natural flight to attack from unexpected angles, while Chitauri soldiers, their armor gleaming, provide unstoppable forward momentum. Human weapons, enhanced by alien technology, cut through Vorthak defenses like hot knives. Through butter, General Thrakvor makes his final stand in the Emperor's throne room, surrounded by the last of his elite guard. The massive Vorthak commander, his scarred hide bearing the marks of 100 battles, faces Captain Lee Min-ho across a chamber that has witnessed 2 centuries of galactic oppression. You think you've won, human? Thrakvor snarls, his claws, gripping an energy blade that crackles with deadly power. The Empire has survived rebellions before. We will rise again. Lee Min-ho draws his weapon, a hybrid design that combines human engineering with Vexen energy crystals. Around them, the sounds of battle grow closer as the Liberation Corps fights room by room through the palace. No, Lee Min-ho replies calmly. You won't. Because we didn't just defeat your empire. We taught the galaxy how to stay free. The final duel is brief but decisive. Thrakvor's strength and experience mean nothing against Lee Min-ho's unpredictable human tactics and the advanced weapons designed by allied species working together. When the general falls, the last symbol of Vorthak military might crumbles with him. Meanwhile, Major Yoon Subin leads a joint squadron of human and alien fighters in the final assault on the orbital defense grid. The same pilot who helped design humanity's first space fighters now coordinates attacks by dozens of different species, each contributing their unique abilities to the battle. Phoenix Squadron, this is Yun Subin, she broadcasts as her mixed formation approaches the final Vorthak stronghold. Today we prove that freedom isn't just a human idea, it's a universal right. The combined attack overwhelms the remaining Vorthak defenders. Human fighters provide precision strikes, while Avirak pilots use their three-dimensional thinking to coordinate attacks from impossible angles. Chitauri gunships, their armor thick enough to absorb punishment that would destroy other vessels, punch through the defensive lines. When the last Vorthak ship surrenders, the galaxy holds its breath for a moment of perfect silence. Then across 1,000 worlds the celebrations begin. On Avirak Prime, bird-like beings take to the skies in massive flocks, their songs of freedom echoing across continents. In the Chitauri tunnel cities, worker daughters emerge into sunlight. For the first time in generations, their compound eyes reflecting a sky no longer darkened by enemy ships. The crystalline Vexans pulse with colors that haven't been seen since before the conquest, their joy resonating through quantum frequencies. Major Yun Subin plants the banner of the new Galactic Alliance on the steps of the Imperial Palace. But it's not a human flag. Instead, it displays symbols from every species that fought for freedom, woven together in a pattern that represents unity without uniformity. Emperor Vorthamagus, the ancient tyrant who has ruled for 3 centuries, is found hiding in his private chambers. When Captain Lee Min-ho arrests him, the Emperor's final words are a question that will echo through history. How did a species so young defeat an empire so old? Lee Min-ho's answer is simple. We didn't defeat you alone. We taught others to defeat you themselves. But even in the moment of ultimate victory, humans begin doing what they do best, stepping back and letting others take the lead. While representatives from dozens of species debate the structure of the new galactic government, human commanders quietly return to their ships. Admiral Song Tai-min addresses his crews one final time. We came here to explore the stars and make peaceful contact with other civilizations. That mission hasn't changed. We fought because we had to, but now it's time to return to who we really are. The new Galactic Charter, signed in the ruins of the Imperial Palace, enshrines principles that humans consider basic rights, but that much of the galaxy had forgotten: the right to self-determination, the right to resist oppression, and the right of any species to seek help when threatened by tyranny. As human ships begin their journey back to Earth, they carry with them something more valuable than any treasure: the knowledge that they've helped create a galaxy where freedom can flourish. Behind them, new alliances form between species that were once enemies, united by the understanding that liberty is worth any sacrifice. The Vorthak Empire, which terrorized the galaxy for 2 centuries, is now nothing more than a cautionary tale, told to young beings learning about the importance of standing up to bullies. And somewhere among the stars, human exploration vessels continue their original mission, ready to defend any species that needs help, but hoping they'll never have to fight again. The end.